Hi everyone, Radical Dreamer here, and welcome to the Postal Code Unknown podcast for Tuesday, July 25th of 2017. I had so much fun yesterday sort of talking about that little pin from York that I wanted to basically share a few more with you. Also sort of over the past weekend I had been talking about some hiking in Japan, and I sort of collected a few things together to share with you about one of my very favorite places and some of the stuff that's nearby in Japan. It may actually be my favorite place. So what I'd like to talk to you guys today about is traveling to Miyajima Island near Hiroshima. So they're both relatively easy to reach from Kyoto, which is a major sort of hub point in Japan, and often sort of like a major travel destination that a lot of people go to. They'll go to Kyoto or Tokyo. If you've never been to Japan before, and you're looking for a traditional Japanese experience, the reason why I mention that is because it is so close, relatively, especially by bullet train, to reach these places. You can do a day trip very easily, and it's extremely worth your time. There is a video that I made in the past that describes going through this experience of journeying to Miyajima Island from Kyoto, which I will be linking to at the end of the episode. So if you'd like to check that out, or you like this story and want to actually see what that is like, please take a look at that video. I really enjoyed making that, and it's one of the more fun things that I did while I was there. So without further ado, I did want to share a few things here. So before going to Miyajima Island, I'll share the pins that I have from the Hiroshima Peace Park. This is a little bit more of a somber point, mostly because this visit was powerful. War, in my opinion, is a horrific and terrible thing. And there are people that sort of talk about, hey, well, this is in retaliation, but war leaves a lot of victims that don't really have any reason to have been a part of that. And so I've got this badge here. It's sort of like a little green badge, and it talks about the Ground Zero Dome in Hiroshima. So there's a building there that's been left sort of as it was after the nuclear bombings in World War II. And that is a reminder of the power of these crazy things that we made, and the kind of effect that they can have on real people. In contrast to that, there's the crane of a peace declaration in Hiroshima. And the Peace Park itself stands as a testament of showing the vast differences between sort of like there's that bombed out building to this incredible, beautiful park that they've built to serve as a contrast and a remembrance of this absolutely crazy and terrible thing that's happened. And getting an opportunity to visit someplace like that was incredible. And oftentimes I'll find myself in places as I've been traveling around that you can tell have a genuine power to them, and this is one of them. And there's a museum there that does a very good job of telling personal stories of people that sort of were nearby or sort of like survived but not for long, and some just horrific imagery. And like, I know this is not a happy story, and that's not the point. The point is that these terrible things can become such positive things. And I think Hiroshima, for one of those things, is so beautiful because of how much they've been able to rebuild. I mean, you wouldn't, if it wasn't for that building there, you wouldn't even be able to see that this had even taken place. And I think that that's amazing. For some place that it had incurred such terrible sadness, to be so vibrant and full of life is amazing. So moving further from there, because I don't want to get stuck too long there, although I do, especially as an American visiting Japan, I think it's one of the most important places you can visit there. So if you're planning a trip and you've got a chance and you're going to be in Kyoto, don't miss it. Absolutely don't miss it. And if you get the chance, also just outside of Hiroshima, you can take another train and a ferry to Miyajima Island. And I think that's my favorite place to visit there, because there's a number of just beautiful places to visit on the island. There's a great torii shrine that's sort of built up, and I've got a little pin of that. For those of you that are listening, a torii gate is sort of like a sort of almost it's a big gate that has a top part that's sort of horizontal and two vertical slices. That's sort of like a gate of religious significance, and this one's huge, and it's built out in the ocean. And as the tide lowers and rises, you can actually walk out to it if the tide's out. And there's a shrine on the island itself that actually becomes submerged in the tides. And it's a really cool thing, full of these strange and weird aggressive deer that will try to steal your food. And I saw one like headbutt an old lady once, and it was really weird. And like, so it's strange, this really surreal place, but it's beautiful. And there's sort of a mountain on the island that I've climbed now, I think 3 times. It's got a few different ways that you can take a cable car up if you want to make it a little bit quicker. So you don't have to say, okay, well, now every time I have to do this, I have to climb up. So if you're not as fit or sort of don't really want the climb or short on time, there are other ways to reach the top of this mountain for an incredible view of the ocean and Hiroshima and the island, and just a really amazing, special place. And there's a, right here, I've got what's called a sort of like a trekking award that I got at the top. If I wanted to, I could probably take this back, or well, the plan is to actually take this back up and write a wish on it. But it's just saying here that the Mount Misen is 535 meters up, so it's not the tallest mountain I've ever climbed, but the fact that it's just this massive mountain in the middle of an island, I always thought it was really cool. So, and there's a really beautiful shrine there with a fire that's been going for decades now, just as a memorial of peace. And there's a shrine of love there as well, and it is just this incredible magical place that I just loved. So let's see, yeah. So that's as much as I'd like to share for this part of Japan for today's episode, just because I don't want to take all of your time today. But I hope you've enjoyed hearing about this, and I hope that if you had not put Hiroshima on your list of places to visit in Japan in the past, that it is on there now, because I think it's extraordinarily important as a place and an experience as a person to understand what this world is about, to visit a place like that. And if you want, they've got okonomiyaki, which is a Japanese pancake, and they're fantastic there. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you get a chance, go check out that other episode about the Miyajima adventure. I think you'll really enjoy it. So take care and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more of what I've been doing outside of these videos, you can see more at theradicaldreamer.com, where I've got articles and photographs with travel advice and stories that aren't just in a video format. You can follow me on Twitter at OneRadicalDreamer or on Instagram at aradicaldreamer if that's something that you're more interested in. If you're interested in supporting me, I do have a Patreon page up as well, which you can find at patreon.com/theradicaldreamer. And that's a way for as little as $1 a month you can help support me get better equipment and do more videos of this type and make a whole bunch more cool stuff to share with you in the future. And last but not least, if you like what you've been seeing on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and send a couple comments. I'd be happy to answer more questions in future episodes of the podcast. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Take care.